Sup. What is up, you guys? For the longest time, I've been kind of struggling thinking of what kind of content I could bring out for you guys, what kind of stuff I need to be doing, and I'm still going to be doing that like speedrunning video with each class and doing all the arenas and seeing how fast I can kill all the bosses to give you guys some kind of content. But what I'm going to be doing in these next couple days, over these next couple of videos, is show you guys what exactly each class has to offer. I mean, I've just realized out of everybody in the game Bless, I'm probably one of the only people who actually have classes with above 1100 gear score for basically all of them, and I pretty much have most of the blessings unlocked. So with that said, I literally have the Gift of Valor, Mark of the Wolf, Lionheart. That should be almost maxed out soon. I just haven't been doing my regionals, so I should do that. And I also have Nightwind. So in today's video, we're going to be going over is showing you what exactly each blessing does and what it has to offer and how I feel about it in the class and whether or not I recommend you take on basically the ranger class if you want to start the game over. Keep it fresh because a lot of the times the game feels a little stale, it feels a little bit repetitive, and with the prices the way they are now on the market, you could pretty much start a new character, do the speed leveling guide on one of my videos, and actually create your own monster if you have seeds left over with a bunch of A gear. Start off from the beginning and just like before, just skip the B gear phase, go straight to A gear, and basically upgrade all of the gear that you need to get the gear score that you need to basically reach the end game goal. So what I'm pretty much waiting for right here right now is like I'm kind of curious because it looks like my hat is not gonna sell. So unfortunately, that is no money for me. So I got mail and I've been waiting for that. And just like everybody else, I have like no funds. So with that said, let's see how much I have. I have 462,000 star seeds on this character. And the cool thing is, since like if you have one character, you're pretty much gonna stack star seeds if you have multiple characters because you're not gonna be wasting any more star seeds on buying more gear. But I kind of took the long route and basically got myself gear in the long run for all of my characters. So I'm impatient. I'm gonna use star seeds. Let's see if we can get to an altar. So there should be an altar near here. Yep, there's one right here by that boss. So I'm gonna see real quick. The teleporter's here, and it is. Save myself some star seeds. If there wasn't there, I would have just started seeded over. Alright, so moving on. Gonna go straight to that altar so I can show you guys what the blessings do. I'm hella hyped because one thing I don't like is to just kind of upload generic videos and just to keep tabs. I actually want to give you guys something to watch, something to learn from. And so for the next 5 days I'm gonna be pretty fucking stoked because I'm gonna have a video for basically the Crusader, the Berserker, the Ranger, the Mage, and the Priest, because I have almost every blessing up to Crescent Moon except for Nightwind on this class and the Crusader. I do have the pieces to get Nightwind on another class and get Guillotine and give you my thoughts on it, but I'll hold off on that. So we're gonna make our way over to the altar so I can show you exactly what these blessings do. So when you start off the game, you're starting. You don't even have I guess the only blessing that you have, which is basically, I don't even think it's the Gift of Valor. Let's go back. You get a couple of movesets. If I remember correctly. Maybe it is the Gift of Valor. I mean, don't quote me on it. It's been a while since I played the beginning of the game, but I think you just start off with the Gift of Valor, and then when you progress the story in the beginning, you start off with Mark of the Wolf. I think that's definitely how it is because you play a little bit, and that's how you get the priest heal for the priest. So making my way over to the altar, the blessing that I'm using right now is Nightwind. See, the cool thing about Nightwind is people often wonder, is Nightwind worth it for a ranger? And in actuality, it is because of the fact that you give your team heals. So I'm going to start off at the beginning. Let's go to the Gift of Valor. So now, the Gift of Valor, what does that do? See, it gives you max HP once you completely max it out. And it also gives you the skills Lightning Arrow. Lightning arrow is a move that you pretty much use to kind of have like a burst shot. So what it tells you right here, it says fire electrical energy in the shape of an arrow and inflict shock on affected enemies, dealing additional damage over time, and total damage 32,000. Now that number that you see is actually when the boss's defenses are just completely to zero. So obviously there's a bunch of factors. So the number is not going to reflect exactly what you see like on the recommendation here. Now here you get extra lightning arrow damage and reduced lightning arrow cost. You also get erupting arrow. See, for the first erupting arrow, it's not like the Crescent Moon arrow. You just have like one burst arrow shot that knocks over the target. So here it says, fire a burst of arrows at your target, damaging them and nearby enemies. Then fire a final arrow into the ground, where it magically travels and erupts beneath your target to deal further damage. And the total damage is 31,000. You know, you upgrade it further, you get reduce the cost by 3 and reduce the cooldown by 3 seconds. And the last one is Parting Shot. Not actually one of my favorite moves. I mean, it's pretty cool for PvP because it's one of your only stun moves and it gives you invincibility frames. And what that means is for a short period while you're doing that move, nothing can hurt you. So if you don't want to dodge roll through a PvP firebomb, you can do a Parting Shot and it will not hurt you at all. So it says fire magical arrow at a single target, knocking it back from you while you leap backwards 10 millimeters so you can keep distance. Alright, now we're going to use this blessing in real time. So you see there's a little boss right there. My attack card right now on the character that I'm using is 6,408. Let me put on my attack card chest piece. This is a really bad chest piece. I still got to get better one. 6,932. So we got a Harpy Queen, and let's see what it does. So 11,000, not 32,000. Okay, let's test it out again. So you guys can see what it does. This is literally the first blessing that you have and the first blessing that you use as a ranger. Now we have Erupting Arrow one more time. That's kind of the damage that you're going to be seeing. I know that the skill says right there that you're going to be doing 32,000, but there's a lot of factors to it. Is that how much defense the actual boss or the monster has. Now the next move we're going to be doing is the Lightning Arrow. So I am going to do that and show you what it does. It's probably one of the dopest moves, but it feels like it doesn't do anything in the beginning. But the more attack you have, the more it'll show you the difference. So I'm gonna show again. Here we go. Oh, waiting. It's on cooldown. And this is another thing that you can do too. I mean, a lot of gear that you can buy on the marketplace is to reduce, cooldowns. For example, like Erupting Arrow, and you could use the moveset a lot quicker. So we're gonna target this one because it's by itself. Here goes Thundering Arrows. But that's the kind of damage that it does. Alright. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is the Parting Shot. Now what does Parting Shot do? And like I was mentioning before, is that it stuns enemies and basically knocks you back. So let's say I aggro him and I want to heal myself or keep my distance. I'm going to shoot it and it should stun them. I don't know why I didn't stun him right there. Or maybe that's actually a later skill. Let me see. No, it should be the same thing. Oh, here goes Parting Shot and Vulnerability. Oh, it's a Night Wind where it actually causes a stun. See, I don't want to give misinformation. So I guess you don't get the stun until Night Wind. See, she's not affected by it at all. Alright, this is the Gift of Valor. So the Parting Shot does not stun them on this blessing. So my apologies. But again, I wanted to double check so I don't give you guys any misinformation. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the altar and switch to the next blessing, which is the Mark of the Wolf. And a lot of people always ask me, like, what blessing do you want to run early game? Now this blessing here, I never really used. I skipped it really. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it. I love Erupting Arrow. I don't like Fire from Above. It's a good farming blessing, but it's just not for me. So the Mark of the Wolf has Fire from Above. I'm pretty sure you guys seen it at Bone Dragon. So Bone Dragon, you see a lot of arrows in the air. So basically summon a deadly rain of arrows that fall from the sky, dealing damage to enemies in a large area for 5 seconds. So it says the total damage 44,984, Now that is with the monster that has completely no defense. So I don't believe that one bit. I mean, there's a lot of factors to it. So, you know, when you upgrade all the way, it says increase fire from above damage 5% more, and then the duration by 2 seconds. And now we also have and we're just gonna we're gonna go by the blessings one by one. So this is firing from above. Yeah, I don't see 44k at all. That's what firing from above does, and as you can see, I'm not sure if you're paying attention, but your arrow cost actually was dramatically taken. I don't know if you remember from like erupting arrow, but let's see how many arrows it takes. You get 50 arrows when you basically start off as a ranger, unless you buy gear. But the arrows cost 14. So it's dead. So the first one didn't crit as much and it didn't kill, but that one actually did. So that's firing from above. Now the next skill is ambush shot. So quickly slide in the direction you're moving while firing an arc of arrows in the direction you're aiming, damaging multiple enemies. If you're cast while standing still, you will slide forward. So this is actually a pretty dope move. Honestly, it's really dope for PvP because it lets you move around a lot. But I wouldn't say this is the PvP blessing. So let's just give it a shot. Ambush shot. That's how much damage that does. More of a movement mechanic than it is what you just basically saw. One more time, ambush shot. So if you're far away or if you're standing still, it moves you. Gives you, I guess, like mobility. So this time I'm gonna use ambush shot while moving. So that one missed. So standing still, it'll still move my character, and so on. So I'm gonna kill this monster so he leaves me alone. So there you go. And in reality, I don't feel like ambush shot is too necessary because once you're high enough level, you can use like an evade shot, which is kind of like similar. As you can see right there. Now the last skill set is actually the bottomless quiver. Now what bottomless quiver does is for the time that you're using it, you don't use any arrows. So it says your skill consumes no arrows for the next 15 seconds. So that's a really good skill. Let's say you're on a DPS check and you basically don't want to run out of bullets. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're running this blessing, it's because another ranger's in the dungeon with you that doesn't have that already has mark. So I'm gonna pull the arrow back. This is one of your passives. This has nothing to do with any of your blessings. You can use this with all the classes. All right, so I'm gonna use bottomless quiver. So now that I did that, as you can see where my arrows are, no matter how many arrows I use, for 15 seconds, I'm not gonna run out of arrows. So it's a really good blessing. I mean, if you don't want to constantly be catching yourself reloading. But it's just it's such a short time that I don't feel like it's useful. 15 seconds is a long time, but like I'm not gonna give up this blessing I'm not gonna give up mark to rock that blessing. That's just like a fun blessing. Now what I forgot to cover is that once you max out both of these blessings, you get specific skill sets. For example, in the Gift of Valor, you get an extra 300 buff of HP. For Mark of the Wolf, if you max it out, you get reduced Tempest Shot, Tempest Volley, and Thunder Arrows cooldown by -3 seconds. It's pretty cool. So now the next blessing that we're going to be covering is the Lionheart Legacy, which is the first blessing that you're going to be using consistently until Nightwind. And personally, in my opinion, I feel like it is the best blessing until about Nightwind. So don't bother wasting skill points on Gift of Valor. Don't bother wasting skill points on Mark of the Wolf. I mean, if you have the skill points for all of them, definitely always max out all the classes. But Lionheart is the blessing you're going to be using basically for the duration of this game while being a ranger. So The difference that this erupting arrow does is that actually it has like a tracking mechanic. So as you can see the little video right there. No, it's not this one actually. Is it this one? Let me double check. I think it's at the end. It should be at the end. No, it's not this one. Gotcha. Says fire burst of arrows your target, blah blah blah. Targets if you deal further damage and throw your enemies into the air. Alright, cool. So, same things as Gift of Valor, Lightning Arrow, Erupting Arrow, except the only difference in this blessing is actually Mark. Mark literally increases your damage by 35%. So fire an enchanted arrow at a single target, damaging them and making them more susceptible to attack. So in the beginning, before without any upgrades, it increases the target's received damage by 25% for 10 seconds. Now with upgrades, you get another 5%, so that's 30%, and then another 5%. So this is what it does. So erupting arrow, we'll show you what that does. I got a buff. The last one did 6,000 and then like 10,000, and this one did 10,000 and then 15,000 for the erupting arrow. Now let's see what thundering arrows does. I mean lightning arrows. That's the same thing. Nothing new. And now the big change right here, which is a mark. And I missed. What kind of ranger am I? Literally point blank, and I missed. We're gonna have to wait for that to come back. But in the meantime, I guess I could talk to you guys about your passive abilities. See, for Ranger, I know there's gonna be an update coming out. You get, what is your passive called? I would say LT Scatter Shot combo, Tempest Shot. That's what it's called. You get two skills. You get Tempest Shot and Reload. Reload is kind of a standard. You need to have that. And Tempest Shot is just to hold the trigger while you pull it back. My button layout's different, so it looks different for you guys. So here we go. I'm going to walk up to it. I'm going to mark it. And now let's see how much Erupting Arrow does now. So I did 12,000 and then now 20,000. I'm rounding up, by the way. So as you can see, it said 19,000, but I'm just rounding up. So it went from 10,000 to 15 to 12,000 to 20,000. So, as you can see, there is a very clear change to the skill. I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to do it with, what's it called? Lightning arrows, I believe. Yep, lightning arrows. So we're going to mark this guy, and I'm going to do lightning arrows next. Nice. So I don't know if you guys remember the last numbers, but there is definitely a clear change. So this is the best blessing to use as a ranger for PvE in dungeons until about Nightwind. I mean, there's other blessings too, but I don't have an opinion of it till I unlock it, because obviously there is going to be Centurion's Command and all of these other skills, but without me unlocking everything and having the star seeds necessary to actually unlock all of them, I don't have an opinion of it, so I can't give you a definitive answer. Now let's go to Crescent Moon. This is the best farming blessing, I would say. See, Lionheart is for dungeons, Crescent Moon is for farming. Because my favorite thing in this class is Erupting Arrow. If you're gonna max out a specific skill in this blessing, is Erupting Arrow. Because unlike before, when you max it out, you do a huge amount of damage. Like, look at this. When you max it out all the way, I don't know if you saw in that picture, but it went from one burst arrow to about basically a multitude of arrows. And firing from above is the same old, just arrows above top and parting shot. Except the difference with this blessing is reducing parting shot cooldown about 3 seconds, hitting an enemy increases your attack power by 10%. For 3 seconds, hitting an enemy with party shot increases your attack power at 20%, and then lastly, party shot grants invulnerability for 0.5 seconds, and that's what I was telling you about. So you don't unlock the iframes until about Crescent Moon, so ignore what I said about the Gift of Valor. And lastly, your LT is Tempest Volley. But you've already known that. The difference, what they did in this one is before your Tempest Volley, you just charge it and you just shoot, but with this upgrade, you unleash a stream of consecutive arrows on top of that one arrow that you're using. So the longer you charge the Tempest shot, the more arrows it fires. So it says step 1, 42,000 damage, step 2, 65,000, step 3, 89,000 damage. So before it would just shoot one arrow, but now it's going to shoot a multitude. But I'm going to show you guys a difference of this erupting arrow. So look at it. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like a nice blanket of arrows shooting down as opposed to the first erupting arrow. And this is my favorite for mob grinding because it'll literally just obliterate an entire mob. I literally can kill 15 to 16 adds in one swoop with like about 2 erupting arrows or 1 if they're basically weak adds. It's literally the best skill to max out once you unlock that. I mean, you still have your rain of arrows. Alright, so she's dead. Okay, so moving back, let's do one more time so you guys can see that erupting arrow. Oh, he's chasing somebody. 23,000 damage. Can you imagine that with Mark though? Now, the difference on Tempest Volley on this one is the burst that you get. Before it was just a single arrow, I don't know if you guys remember, but this time you get multiple shots. So it kind of combines thundering arrow, the lightning arrows with the charge shot. So let's go to the next blessing. I'm getting chased right now. Let me just take care of this ad. Alright, so to go over it again, that is the Crescent Moon blessing. The Crescent Moon blessing says once all skills and blessings reach max level, you unlock its passive bonus, and then if you unlock this, it reduces the charging time for Tempest Volley, Tempest Shot, and Thundering Arrows. So what that really means is, like, when I'm charging this, the load time like this is much, much quicker. So I'm gonna roll so I don't waste that skill. Again, this is the best farming blessing. Now let's go over Nightwind. A lot of people are always asking for Nightwind on the Ranger, always saying, everyone needs a Nightwind Ranger. Everyone, like, I don't want to do a dungeon unless there's a Nightwind Ranger. And the reason for that is because when you use your mark, unlike before, you get health back, a percentage of your health back. As you can see right here, it says, fire an enchanted arrow at a single target, damaging them and making them more susceptible to attacks. Increase mark duration, same old. But when you max it out all the way, attacking a marked enemy restores HP equal to 1% of the damage dealt. So you gotta think about it. 1% of a mage's meteor, what is that? That's about 500 to 1,000, I would say, health. When a berserker starts ticking for 60, 80 damage, 80,000, K, that's a percentage when it gets back. The only classes that really suffer from the 1% mark, that get a little bit, but basically close to nothing, are just kind of like basically the Crusader until he finishes his combo. Because like the priest has banishment, and that does a good amount of damage really quickly. So just to show you guys what it's like, I'm gonna mark this guy right here. So I'm getting 60 health, 50, 38, per hit. Obviously this moveset is gonna be much more successful on a monster with more health. You don't want to waste your mark on a monster with like a small ad. I mean, it does give you attack power, but like this is more reserved for like bosses that are not gonna get killed right away. But they're actually going to give you a substantial amount of health throughout the fight. So as you can see, I got like 78 health, etc. So I'm going to shoot him right here. I'm going to wait for him to try to attack one more time. I'm going to pull the arrow back, just so I can show you guys a little bit more of an attack. So I got 437 off that attack. Now there's another reason why I didn't pull it back 3 times. Mainly because Thundering Arrows is kind of broken right now, so hopefully they fix it. But yeah, that's what Mark does, and it gives you a good amount of health. So with that said, here's what it looks like for Thundering Arrows to be when you charge it up all the way. So what you do is you shoot your initial shot, and then you rotate backward for a second shot. So that's the first one, and that's the second one. As you can see, I did no damage, but that's because that attack did not hit. I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet, but it's a big issue for Rangers across the board. We miss DPS checks because of that. So I'm gonna do it one more time, and I'm gonna show you guys what Thundering Arrows looks like. I'll charge it all the way. See, that one hit. but the first one didn't. I don't know if you see, but the first part is like thundering arrows, and it just basically has like a burst amount of damage, um, damaging enemies substantially for like an extra 25 to 30 grand, and then the second shot, which is like another 30-40 grand. But yeah, that is the Nightwind Blessing right here. Now, the last skill that this has to offer, besides obviously Parting Shot, is a smoke screen to slow down enemies. So as you can see, I'm going to move this way. The enemy's going to go through that smoke, and he won't be able to move that quickly because of the smoke. See how fast he's flapping compared to before? This smoke screen is a very situational skill to use. You only use it for specific bosses, or you can just use it like the way I use it, which is for the memes. And slow down, just like Caligula, and which is like crucial in Abby AOB, or just throw it on the Lich just because it's just funny because he's already not moving, so throwing it's kind of like, oh, you're not really going anywhere now. But yeah, guys, that's all the blessings that I have unlocked so far. I mean, I am gonna get Storm Chaser for my priest as well, just to show you guys what that is like. But then again, I don't know. I feel like there's Storm Chaser for everything else. I mean, I would like it for the Ranger, but I mean, without knowing for sure, I can't really say. Like, I would like to see all the blessings, but that's gonna take time, and unfortunately, I only have enough to get for Storm Chaser for one of the classes, and I have to get revered for everything. So that's basically what sums up what the Ranger does and the blessings that he has. The best blessing, in my opinion, is situational. If you don't have Nightwind, then use Lionheart for dungeons. And if you're out in PvE in the world, the Crescent Moon, because you have more movesets to protect yourself and to not get hit, because all you really have is that one Erupting Arrow and Lightning Arrow, and that doesn't do anything for mobs, versus the widespread Erupting Arrow and the Tempest Volley for mobs for leveling up. So Nightwind, if you finally unlocked it, for dungeons, but the best blessing is gonna definitely be Crescent Moon for mob grinding and being out in the open world. Now, what is the best PvP blessing? That's a good question. I don't know thus far, and I'm just saying these are the blessings that are the best for what most people are going to be able to unlock right away. And I mean that because the reality is no one's going to be able to unlock Storm Chaser overnight. No one's unlocked Centurion's Command yet, at least from my knowledge. And Blind Executioner is going to be like 6 months of hard work of opening chests. So out of the 5 blessings that you do have, Lionheart, so you get Nightwind for dungeons, and Crescent Moon for open world. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned a little bit about what the Ranger has to offer, and it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys do enjoy playing different classes if you guys feel like you plateau and basically don't have anything else to do in the game, because let's face it, until they come out with more content, a lot of the end game players are literally sitting and waiting for just new content to come out. So don't forget to follow the socials, Mixer, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, which is the Guitarist562, and the Discord. Please be a part of it. I know the player base is dropping dramatically, but I'm still going to be keep playing this game, just to show you guys what it has to offer. Until then, because they are going to make changes and people are going to come back to the game, but for now, that's just how the game is. Let me know which video you guys want to see next. I mean, like I said, you see me with all 5 of my classes, and I can dish it out. And whoever makes the first comment on the next class, I will put out the video for that class on the blessings, in my opinion, and what I feel is the best and what you guys should use. And yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on the blessings. I'll go over another video on the strengths and weaknesses of each specific class. So thank you guys for watching. And if you guys, again, if you guys want some better content, better quality, feel free to dono on my PayPal, because it helps me get better gear, because I know right now it looks like I'm recording from a microwave. So that's just the reality. I'm using Twitch to export to YouTube, and I'm streaming through my Xbox. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and take it easy.